Greetings, one and all, and it's time for something a little bit different. It definitely, when this releases, it's well after my birthday, but we're recording this on my birthday weekend, and I'm doing a spiritual successor to a game I ran a while ago, and I always knew I could do it better. The people who played in it, they did a fantastic job. Nothing on that. It was more on the way I ran it. There were so many things I could have done better and introduced for the plot and how I wanted it to go instead of just springing it on people. And it, personally for me, it felt like a mess near the end. So we are going to be utilizing the Absurdia system. The best way to describe this system, it's if you know the YouTube series, the YouTube group, Welcome to the Night Vale. This is essentially Welcome to the Night Vale, the tabletop system. It's fantastic, and it utilizes the powered by the apocalypse system. So it makes it really easy to pick a playbook and get your character in mind. But because it's me and everyone know, and if you're a long listener of our show, everyone knows I always put a little spin in how I use the systems. And normally there's faction moves to where there's different factions for like humans, fae, or whatever, and it'll depend on the players. We're not going to be using any of that. The only thing we're going to worry about is just the player's agenda and the basic moves, and essence, harm, and advancement. We're not going to worry about factions because that doesn't play into this world or in this story. And we have the first three players. Well, it's not right to call them players because in this game, they're travelers. They're people from outside of the normal plane. Now, before we started recording, I asked who would like to go first, and we have one of the other founders for Int. It is our favorite baby of the group, Essen.
It's a whole incorrect.
Excuse me, moi. Now, please tell me about your character. Tell us about their name, good physical general description, and take us in a normal day of your character, please. I'll make sure I'm muted for this.
I should have been a little better prepared. Just a moment.
You know what? While you're getting ready, in the background, as Essen's getting ready to describe her character, there's the best year. It's hers from about looks like it's from 1945, but it is immaculate. Like whoever owns this hearse has been taking care of it. It does not look like it has aged at all, even though it is clearly a model from many years ago. But here's the thing. As we see this vehicle driving, it's as if it came out of nowhere. And sitting hunched over in the driver's seat, we see an individual. He's wearing what would best be described as a head butler's uniform. He looks like he'd be about 5'3", balding, has that typical like monk balding hair, but it's still very long and gray and shaggy. He's got a very long beak-like nose. It's just excessively long. A normal human would not have a nose like this. And he's just sitting in the hearse and he's driving. But the thing is, if one was to truly pay attention, he never turns. He never follows the road. Whenever there's like a bend in the road, he literally just fades out of reality. And then a few miles down the road, when it's back to just straight roads, the hearse appears. And he is going to pick up the first of our travel. Now you can go, Essen.
Okay. So my character's Seren Morgenstern. She's based off SCP-7090, which is the one with the galaxy in their brain. And she does her very best not to involve anything like that, because she has no idea what's happening.
Okay. Now, as I was telling you outside of the chat, now this is for the listeners. In this world... Oh, thank you. I will make sure to get that updated right now.
It's also 7090.
Thank you. I thought I heard that wrong. All right. So allow me just to fix that real quick. There we go. Now, as I was explaining to the players, they are SCPs, but at the same time, they're not SCPs. This is not the SCP universe. This is not the type of SCPs that you've read on the wiki. They're different. This is a different type of universe. This is a different type of world. So, Seren, you have these anomalous properties. Oh boy. As you said, you do your best to keep your mind right. Now, are you proud, or do you like to talk and be public with your anomalous properties, with your anomalous abilities? Or do you keep them hidden?
Hell no, she just wants to be a normal ass college kid.
Thank you. And that was the next important detail I needed to know. So you're in college. So what is Seren's major? What does she study?
Physics.
Okay. So, goodness gracious, if this is one of my joke campaigns, I'd be just screaming nerd, but no, that's actually very valuable information. That's going to really help you in the future, Seren. So now, is she a good student? Or is she just like in the mid, just trying to get by? What kind of student is Seren?
She's very diligent student, but she doesn't like pairing up in like group projects, so that kind of makes her fall behind.
It's funny that you say that, because you're getting close to finals week, Seren. You're getting so close. You can taste that masters. And you're going to be one of the youngest to achieve their masters. It is impressive. You've been valedictorian all your life. You're a hard worker, and it shows. And as you said, but you do have an Achilles heel. It seems like you have some social anxiety. You don't do good in groups. And for this finals project, your literature teacher, you always knew he had a flair for the dramatics. And of course, he said this final was going to be on the works of Lewis Carroll. And he wanted everyone to be in groups working together. And what color is Seren's hair?
It's black for now.
Oh. Well, here's the thing that makes it even weird. It makes you even more uncomfortable, because everyone in your group is like, hey, we should do like that Gothic style American McGee's Alice, and Seren, you'd be perfect. So they've been trying to get you to wear costumes and stuff. It's just been making you feel awkward. You want some time to yourself. Where would you go to just try to find some peace?
She would definitely take like whatever outfit they planned. Like, I'm just gonna put it on. She does, but then she runs off. You're
running, and you trip. Oh, this is gonna hurt. You're gonna land right on your face, and even if you catch yourself in your wrist, you could break your arm. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Oh, why are you on something soft and squishy? It feels very comfortable, as if you could just melt into it. You squeeze. This is leather. You're in the backseat of a car. Hello, Miss Seren.
Did I hit my head and you kidnapped me?
No, it's your time. The time has come. You're being called, my dear. This was your own doing. You brought yourself to me. I am just a simple tulpa.
He's panicking. He's like, oh God, I'm wearing this stupid outfit and then I got kidnapped. What the fuck is going on?
Then my job is only to take you to him. To that, you will not see me again. Unless, stranger things have happened. But my name is Raj, and I will be your guide to the rooms. Now, I'm really glad to see that you have gotten dressed up there, Miss Seren. You're going to be going to quite the banquet. Now, I must warn you, these individuals can have quite the voracious appetite. I'm late. Seren.
Yes.
You're sitting in the back of this hearse. You're feeling so much anxiety. You've definitely been kidnapped. Oh God, you've been kidnapped. Yeah. Oh no.
It's like 2 seconds away from bursting into tears.
You were on the freeway. You're now looks like in a very elegant garden, a very like the entrance to a very elaborate hedge maze. But decorated on all the hedges is a red rose. Standing at the entrance, there's these two individuals. Now, the best way to describe them, they look like ghouls dressed up just like very old Renaissance aristocrats. So they have the big powdered wig, but they look like exactly what you would imagine for like a ghoul, big ghoulish mouth and everything, but very pompous, clean looking clothing. And the car is coming up to the entrance. The car slowly parks. Raj gets out first, and he comes to your door, Seren, and he opens it, and he does like a little bow and does a little flare with his arm and goes, "After you, Miss Seren. I shall do the introductions for you."
She's gonna slowly exit the car, and there's scorch marks where she had her hands on the seat. She's just like panicking, but also like she doesn't want to be rude.
But then, as you look at those scorch marks, you see the leather starting to knit itself. And then you see like the front of the headlight of the car. The headlights get like eyelids on it. And just does like kind of like a little angry face. And you just hear a honk honk. And in your head, you know the car just said, "Hey, I do."
They drugged me.
If I gave you, in your head you hear, "If I gave you a piece of McCain, would you calm down?"
She's just gonna move on. She can't handle that.
The car just, "Good luck walking." The sky is very beautiful and bright, but still a little off, because in the blue there's like a swirl of green, purple. For a second, you felt like an eye had opened in the sky, looked at you, gave you a real good look, and then closed. And then you approached the entrance of this massive gargantuan hedge maze, and the two guards are, "Yes. Oh, yes. You've brought another guest to the room. Is this one going to be another one for supper?" No, this one is not for your feast. This one is special. Please, take her to go meet the queen. But she's a commoner. I assure you, she's still smarter than you. The guards are eyeing you. Okay. Let us pass. Well, with the last people that came through, we have quite a full feast prepared anyway. But I will warn you, the queen is a little quite upset as of late, so you might want to mind her temper. Yes.
She looks like she's gonna have a stroke.
One foot steps in. Your head, it hurts. You look at the guards, and God, does it make your head hurt to just look at them. Now, it's not because they're disgusting or anything like that. There's just something off now. Something's not right. And because of what you are, because of your properties, because of all of this, it hurts your head. You need to get away from it. You just go into the hedge, and as you're walking, you hear a little yip, a little bark, very cute little bark. Seren, do you look around? Do you look towards the little bark?
She was working on like trying to clean up a scorching nosebleed, but yeah, that confuses her enough to where she's gonna try to figure it out.
And you're looking, and as you're following it, you just start to hear like it starts to change into more like a whine, a cry. And then you see mixed up in the thorns, it looks to be about the size of a bulldog puppy. The fur is gray with black spots. It has a very big maw full of fangs, but this is a little puppy. So that it just little puppy fangs. And he just looks at you and it's just and the thorns are all wrapped up in its legs. As every time it tries to move, the branches get tighter and digs into his little legs.
She's gonna use her hands to like scorch the vines a little to break them up so it's easier to get out of.
Slipping, wiggling, boop! As it pops out, it literally somersaults over itself, plops down on its little butt, looks up at you, gives you like a little sniff, walks around you in a circle, and then just starts to do like happy zoomies around you. And then it just like stands there next to you, waiting for what you're going to do.
She's like, you're very cute and I would pet you, but I do not want to hurt you because you're the nicest thing I've seen since I've gotten here.
You hear it yip, mommy.
Huh?
And it happily like rubs up against your leg.
Then what were you doing so far out here?
It looks up at you, and clear as day it answers. I got washed. I don't know where my pack is anymore. I've been in this hedge for a very long time.
Oh, okay, the drugs are still active.
It just does like that quizzical pup dog head tilt at you. And as you're just looking at this dog, wolf, bear, cub thing, it was daytime and all of a sudden it's like, it's night? No, it's still day. It's just you're encompassed in a gargantuan shadow. Do you turn around to see what is casting this shadow, Seren?
Yeah, I do.
What you see is, now, this individual, she is about a good 7'5", and on a good day, she would be about a good 500 pounds. She has a very tiny crown on the top of her head, black, short cropped hair, her massive red and black Victorian dress, and she holds a scepter. And at first, as you look at it, you think it looked like a heart, but then when you look at it again, it's clearly just a skull with like ruby eyes. Well, aren't you just an adorable little darling? What are you doing all by over here by yourself?
Drugged and kidnapped me.
Will not do. That simply will not do. Oh, no. Come, let the queen help you out. And with this, we're going to shift to one of the other visitors right now. Seren, we're going to come back to you. Now, for their next traveler, we're going to come to Swoley. It's your turn.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about your character. Tell us their name. And like I said, if you haven't thought of the SCP yet, don't worry about it.
Well, of course, you couldn't. Two SCPs exist in the same space.
Oh, yes.
All righty.
Oh, yes.
All right. So my character is Dr. Maximilian Corvinus Craven. And he is, like I said, a neuroscientist.
All right.
Based off of SCP-049, the Plague Doctor.
Excellent. Now, tell us, how has your life been with your anomalous properties? Because as I said, it doesn't have to be that where you're walking around turning people into zombies and such. What is Craven's life? What is Dr. Maximilian's life?
Well, he's obsessed with the past, and not only the past, the thought of the afterlife. He notices various things as people die, and it's become an obsession. His life is basically finding out what a person's mind goes through at that last moment of death. And this, of course, has led his career to be in some shambles. He performs various experiments on homeless populations and animals and such.
Okay. Now, what is the past few days been for Dr. Maximilian? What is currently going on for Maximilian?
In his current state, Maximilian has basically lost everything. He has nothing but the clothes on his back and a pocket full of scribbled down notes and symbols that make no sense. Anywho.
For a man that has nothing, yeah, it makes sense for you to be just sitting at a bar, drinking the last bit of whatever money you have left, just drowning your sorrows. You're just, why even bother? You're really getting into it with when you hit your eighth drink and you spin in your chair and then you fall backwards. Oh boy, this is gonna hurt. Oh yeah, your head's gonna smash on the ground. Here it comes, and this is really comfortable. Damn, you could pass out with how you're just melting into this seat. You're just on a shitty wooden bar stool. This is clearly a leather seat. You're in a car. Hello, Dr. Maximilian.
Okay. Usually I'm talking to Churro as I'm on his boat when I have my drunken visions.
Yes, Mr. Maximilian, I can assure you, Churro is much more than just a drunken stupor. He is exactly like I, for I am a tulpa, just a simple tulpa, who is just your guide, just as Churro is a tulpa, who's been brought to existence by you. Now, my name is Rash, and my role is to be your guide to your next, well, to your destiny, Mr. Maximilian.
My destiny, and what, pray tell, is my destiny?
I can only take you to the entrance. It is up to you to find out find out the rest. Let's just say I'm taking you to a place that exists, but at the same time, it does not.
I don't understand. What a world in between worlds. So this is what the river Styx, basically. That's what you're telling me.
Oh, oh, you really flatter me, Mr. Maximilian, to think that I'm the ferryman. That is quite the role. But no, you are not on the river Styx. You are still quite alive, just a little intoxicated. The individual that is waiting for you at your destination, he will do a much better job of explaining. And you're in luck. He's a doctor, just like you.
Interesting. A doctor in what exactly?
You know, I never did ask him that. All I know is he calls himself Dr. Bright. Well, he goes by a different moniker now, ever since things have changed.
Well, if he has the answers, actually, then take me to him.
Of course, right away, Mr. Maximilian. And as you're going, everything's just normal city you've been in, and then, you should have gone down a curve, but you just kept going straight, but nothing is making sense to you now. Did you just go into a wormhole? What is this? What's going on? Rash just looks in the mirror, gives you a nod, and keeps driving. And as you come through just this miasma, the spectacle of lights and colors, it looks like you're in a mall. A lot of closed stores. And sitting there, what looks like sitting at one of the benches, there's what looks like a gentleman. You can't really get a good look at his figure or anything because he's reading what looks like a newspaper. That is Dr. Bright. It's been an honor to meet you, Mr. Maximilian. If it comes our way in fate, I will potentially meet you again. Good luck.
Roz.
So when you exit the vehicle, you can see it's this immaculate hearse that clearly looks like it's from 1945. And you're clearly inside the mall, and when he takes off driving, it just fades away. Like by the time it reaches where the tables and everything are, where Dr. Bright is sitting, it completely fades away. What do you do first?
First, he's just stares stunned at what he just saw, and then begins to look around to see his surroundings better.
This is clearly a mall, but
yeah,
it's so many stores from things you clearly have never seen. Look like something that would be like in vogue or be the next fad in maybe the next few years. And other stores are clearly holding merchandise from yesteryears before. So many different stores, but they're all empty and varying in age. But everything is immaculately clean. And you clearly smell food from where that gentleman, Dr. Bright, is sitting. It's coming because he's sitting in the food court area. What else would you like to do?
Is there food in front of him?
Do you start walking towards his direction?
Yes, I do.
You can clearly hear him eating.
Well, as he gets closer, he just looks at the food, and because it's been days since he's last eaten, he basically and rudely sits down and begins to eat the food that Mr. Bright has in front of him. And as he's chewing, he looks up at Mr. Bright with a mouthful and holds his hand out.
And that's when Mr. Bright closes the newspaper in front of him, and this is when you get a good look at him. And I'm kind of glad you said you have a mouthful of food, because I want to know what your reaction is, because sitting in front of you, this gentleman, coming out of his forehead are two what look like, instead of horns, they look like tree branches instead of like antlers that go off a bit. And he has 3 eyes. He has 6 eyes, and 3 in a column row on the left, 3 in a column row on the right. His skin has become more like a blood red now. His hair is still just a nicely cut whitish gray. He still has his glasses, a very nice, clean, trimmed beard. And now the 2 arms that were holding the newspaper, there was another 4 underneath that were eating and then doing other various tasks. And
yes, I'm glad you saw the meal I left for you, Dr. Maximilian. I am Scarlet Bright.
Maximilian is sitting there with his mouth open as food falls out. It sits back in the seat and loudly says, I am drunk. I am drunk. I am drunk and passed out. This is a dream. I am drunk and passed out, and this is a dream. And I'm going and start slapping himself to wake up.
It hurts. You slap your face. You can feel the pain. And Bright looks at you and goes,
No. I'm sorry, Mr. Maximilian. This is no dream. This is no drunken stupor. This is all too real. And as I said, my name is Scarlet Bright. And in another time, I was Dr. Bright, and I was the Scarlet King. I was held back in my dimension, never to know freedom. Always cursed to have brides and children of a such. Oh, it was an endless game of wishing for freedom. But then I met this Bright, who truly despised SCPs, hated them, wished their destruction, and he found my universe and found me, and he let me have his body, and I finally have everything I ever wanted. Where you are, in some planes, on their little computers, they call it the back rooms. This is a infinitely spawning area of liminal spaces, and I welcome you, Dr. Maximilian. This is my foundation, and it appears you are to be one of my SCPs.
SCP. Okay. Do I have a choice in the matter?
Now, did I say this was a bad thing? No.
You blink. He's right behind you. You blink. He's all the way at one of the stores. You blink. He's upside down on the ceiling. You blink. He's sitting back in front of you again.
Oh, Maximilian, you always wondered why you felt different. Your true potential never reached. This is your real home. There's so much potential for you here.
All I see is empty stores. I'm a doctor. I
Maximilian, look again, but this time, look with your heart.
Do you look with your heart?
Yes.
What is the most fondest memory you have? What would be a store? What would be an item that would be connected to this fondest, most beautiful memory of your life?
It would be a time in which, for the first time, his mother took him out to a grand opening of a mega store, a mega mall. And the first thing he remembered was going to the food court and getting his very first burger that wasn't made from home.
There's that stand. There's that smell. All memories. And no, there's no way it can be. No, but it has to be. You only see her back, though. But is that Mom? You start to walk towards the stand.
Michael?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you approach the stand?
Yeah, I approached the stand and
Oh, okay. Before anything else, at every step you take, you get younger until you're the age you were. You're wearing the same clothes. You have the same haircut. Everything's the same. You take a deep breath. It even smells like that. Oh my God, you're in that mall. Crowds, all the same people. All the same things. You remember everything. Everything is the same. Only thing that's different is there's Scarlet Bright just looking. But go ahead and continue now. What do you keep proceeding forward, or is there anything else you would do?
No, he would keep proceeding forward.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead and finish.
There's one thing about this memory is he doesn't actually remember his mom's face. Doesn't have pictures, doesn't have anything to remember his mom's face. So that's one thing to go off of.
And just as she's getting ready to turn and you're getting ready to see that face, that's when we're finally going to switch to the third and final traveler with us now. We'll come back to you for the final part of this, but now it's time to go to our third traveler, Radar.
Hello.
Tell us about your character, please.
Okay, so I am playing Okay, so my character's name is Robert Shetford. He is adapted from SCP-014.
SCPs. All right. Now, what's an average day for Robert?
Most of his days are spent in his, in his room, looking out the window down at the city below. He would like to go down and visit the city below, but unfortunately, he has mobility issues and cannot.
Oh, tell us some more about that. What exactly is hampering Robert?
Robert
What
isn't
is
entirely.
keeping him?
Robert
Sorry,
isn't.
Go ahead.
Robert isn't entirely sure, but when he was asked about this once by a friend, he said something to the effect of he was cursed to live forever but turn into concrete as a result.
Robert, you every day you just see life going on for people. And here's the thing: you're not looking at them with contempt. You just wish you could go out there and introduce yourself to people, and have a life. Do the things you see that people do on TV, on YouTube. You're getting frustrated. Get up. You know what? A nice cool glass of water, maybe something to hydrate. You'll get your mind right. You stand up. Woo! Your legs feel so heavy. Everything feels so heavy. Is this that concrete feeling you were warned about, that you thought about? Oh, and you fall back. This is it. You're never going to move again. You're stuck. You're going to be stuck on this couch. God damn it. You knew it. Why didn't you at least buy a better couch? No. Surprisingly comfy. Wait, this is not your couch. You squeeze. Oh, thank goodness your arms are working. You subconsciously wiggle your big toes. Okay, your toes are working. You wiggle your ankles. All right, you're not concrete, but you're clearly sitting in a car. Mr. Robert, you are my final traveler that I shall have the privilege to meet today. It is an honor to meet you, sir.
How do you know my name?
Finally, someone who asked the right question. You see, I'm but a simple tulpa. I come from the thoughts and imagination of all people, and that's what brought me to life. So, of course, the one that helped contribute me of course I would know his name.
I made you?
You had a hand. Everyone had a hand in making you. Well, just like with all tulpas. Robert, didn't you ever have an imaginary friend?
He left.
Well, he is an asshole, but that is essentially a lower rank tulpa, but a tulpa all the same. My name is Raj, and in all the time of all the people that I've had the privilege to see upon, you're the one that I have been waiting to take to just take them from their mundane life. Mr. Robert, how would you like to have a whole new life?
What's the catch?
Well, embrace. Well, the only catch I can think of, Mr. Robert, is that you will have to embrace your fears. Because once you have always feared and thought would be your handicap, will be one of your greatest strengths. It will, well, the expectations, what everyone is expecting of you. We have big hopes for you, Mr. Robert. Why, I'm taking you to meet someone, and hopefully you will help him remember who he was. This is, I guess you could call your catch. I would call it a favor. Would you do this favor for me?
A long beat passes as Robert looks down out the window and at various places inside the car before finally responding, "Yes."
Mr. Robert, thank you. This truly was one of my best friends in a time long, long ago when I was a different shape, a different individual, before I was a tulip. When you were looking around the cab of the car, you saw a really nice looking purple top hat, and around the rim of this top hat is playing cards. But these playing cards, instead of the typical Jack, Queen, and King, it's this individual with that same top hat, and then what looks like a little mouse wearing a nice little vest, and then a rabbit with what looks like blonde hair.
Are you a gambler?
No, you could just say I was just a big fan of tea time. I really miss those tea parties. Now, all I asked, Mr. Robert, is give my old friend his hat back. That is how I want you to see if he'll remember who he was again. And maybe some of that will spread my way.
Robert picks up the hat and puts it on his head.
Oh my goodness. I thought, oh my. So, I actually have a reward for you. So, the minute you put the hat on your head, your eyes flash white. So, when we say the vastness of space is like dark, this puts that to shame. But you're not scared or any of that. If anything, you're happy. You're having a grand old time because you know all you have to do is ask, and in the blink of an eye, with a wink and a smile, what you guys will ask for will be right in front of you. Bam! There's these big elaborate red leather chairs just floating in the cosmos, and a beautiful tea table, little saucer dishes. You pick up your teacup, you see your hand, it's a glove, and you're wearing a very immaculate tailored jacket. It's granted, oh my God, it is the gaudiest colors, and this would never go together. This is just pure chaos. Why? But you see what you would consider, yes, these are your brothers. When you're with them, you're happy. Even though what you guys do just makes not one lick of sense to the other denizens. Drinking that strange concoction of water and leaves with sugar. Ugh! And then you blink, and then you're in a part of space. There's now all this light. There's stars. There's these large orbs of dirt and gas, and you've been told they're planets and such, and just and then you look up and you're just, oh wait, why is he? And then you scream as you feel your face start to stretch, your bones cracking, your body, it hurts so bad. And then you feel like something is literally growing from underneath your skin, covering your face. And then the last thing you see is one of your brothers screaming and writhing on what was your beautiful, immaculate table as he gets shorter, his legs snapping and breaking. He gets wider. His fur falls off. He just has skin. And then he starts to grow a strange nose on the front of his face, and then everything goes black. Your eyes stop glowing.
Am I back in the car?
Yeah, you're still in the car.
Okay.
Raj he looks at you with a very sad look from the mirror. You can just see his eyes. He just looks sad, and he just keeps driving. We're almost there, Mr. Roberts. We're almost there. Now, where you've come out, you were clearly in a city, but this looks like a very dense forest. This is so odd. It's what? And just trees all around you, yet the car is driving perfectly through everything until finally this building makes no sense because it looks crooked and bent, crooked and misshapen. And then you see what looks like it says Haberdash and then scratched out surgeon. We're here, Mr. Robert. Good luck.
Thanks.
Now, as you get out of the car, something is definitely off about these woods because you're looking left to right. Now that you're really thinking about it, this is a clear path that you guys were driving on. It wasn't that you were bobbing and weaving through trees. He was just driving on a perfect path. And something tells you do not divert from the path. You feel like there's so many eyes upon you. Yet, no, nah. And then finally, you see a little, what looks like, yeah, that's clearly a little chipmunk, and he's wearing overalls, and he just comes walking out of the trees. Oh, well, hello there, friend. What's your name?
Robert Shetford.
Oh, Robert. The chipmunk, he looks at you, and at first, it looked like something was like a strange astral form was coming off of his body. It was going to come towards you, but then it got sucked back into the chipmunk. Oh, dang it. You're different. You're different. It won't work with you. Come with me, friend. What brings you here?
Instead, the fellow who brought me here said he was a tulpa. He was driving a hearse.
Wait. Oh, him.
Yes.
Oh. So I take it you're here to see the gentleman in that building then?
Yes.
Oh, I like your hat.
Thanks. It's not mine.
Something... Now, we know you're definitely different, and you're like us because I couldn't make the switch with you. I'm gonna go have to talk to Oberon. Interesting. Well, Robert, good luck with the doctor, and if you come out in one piece, would you be willing to go a little farther down the path?
I'm willing to take a few steps, but I do not make promises that I will go as far as you want me to.
I like you, Robert. Welcome to 4000, by the way. And the chipmunk goes back into the woods, and he's gone. Do you go towards the crooked building?
I mean, where else is there to go?
Well, would you actually like to really look around once you approach the building more?
Let's get up to the front door and then look around.
Okay, excellent. So this is weird because the building looks like how anything could be inside of it, like a business or anything, makes not one lick of sense because it looks like it's about a good 6 feet wide. And it's like, what? This makes no sense. It's like barely wide enough just for the door. You look left, there's a well. You look right. In the woods, there's an entity. He's jet black, and he just has what looks like the head of like a deer skull, and it's just looking at you. Now, what would you like to do?
I knock on the front door and then wave to the jet black fellow just to be polite.
The jet black figure does a little bow towards you and poofs away in a vapor. You don't know how you know this, but you feel you answered correctly in in your mannerisms in talking to this entity. You feel something good is going to come from that. And then when you knock on the door,
Charming, come in. I'm just a little busy back here. I'm sorry, my hands are full, but please come in.
And then the door opened. Best way to put it, it's like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside. You look inside. This is like the size of a grand hall in like a mansion. You back away from the door and you look. Nope, it's still the little stained, skinny building. Look back in. Yep, grand hall. About maybe a good 5,000 square feet just for this area. Do you step in?
Yeah.
Now, looks are very deceiving because, yes, the outside of it was like all cracked and just, it looked like this was going to be your stereotypical haunted house, but it's immaculately clean. And the one thing I guess you could say brings alarm is just this sense of like paint and wallpaper, because you just see what looks like someone was trying to paint like a designer or something, but then got upset and then just did like red X's all on it. It's just in black X's and just don't look at that. Hello. Please come upstairs. Come. I haven't had guests in quite a long time.
Forgot how painful stairs were.
God, you're dreading walking up these stairs, but then something peculiar happens. You step on one of the steps and then it goes up like an escalator, but these are wooden stairs. And as you get up, I don't want to say what you do. I want to ask, what is the first thing you do when you come up the landing?
You take a look around.
Excellent. As you look around, yep, definitely a doctor's waiting room. Except when you look at the magazines, all the magazines just have this individual. Now, the coloring of like the cloak and the mask have that same sense of gaudy color sense of that individual and that memory of when you put on the hat. Because so now you've seen a plague doctor's mask, but this doesn't have the bird aesthetic to it. This looks more like a anteater aesthetic, and instead of a like black cloak, it's a very fine tailored jacket that it looks like a mixture of like a petticoat of a long petticoat with a doctor's coat, and it's a rainbow mash, like someone just took all the prime colors and just threw them at a wall and said, "There we go." Yeah. And you look at his fingers. There's, yes, the index finger and the thumb, they're syringes, but then every other finger is a different medical instrument. And it doesn't look like he's walking. It's more like he's just gliding across the floor.
The Tulpa dropped me off to see you.
Tulpa. Now, is this a cold? Is this some new form of sickness? Is this the plague? Yes! That's what it...
He stops as he's going into this elaborate thing, and he freezes in his steps.
What is that on your head?
It's hat.
That's just... No, it's a tumor. It's the source of your sick. I don't like it.
He like starts to cower away from you. Just, what is this?
Shall I remove the hat so we can continue then?
Oh, remove the hat, Robert. You feel like a heartbeat as the hat. You can tell the hat is just locked on the doctor. Just
Tulpa. Step in time. Step in time.
His body starts to twitch and crack as his neck violently jerks left and right. And Radar, this is up to you. What do you do?
Start to back away towards the staircase while keeping an eye on him.
And he's not rushing towards you. You notice one of the hands, the instrument's literally being sucked back into the finger, it growing what looks like that white glove you saw in your memory, fighting back, growing back into the doctor utensils. And he's just, is it tea time?
Are you okay, sir?
Tea time.
Now, as the doctor is losing himself. As I said, these are my versions of the SCP. This was supposed to be the plague doctor. Now, it's not zombies that start, filling the room. It's something much stranger. It's marionettes. It's chairs that have been given life. It's all these inanimate objects that can now speak and move. And they all just say in unison, tea time.
Yep, I think that's my cue to get out of here.
And as Robert goes to turn and run, we're going to, because we're now getting to the point of when we're going to leave off for this session, but I want to do one last scene for everyone. So we're going to go back to the top to Essen for Seren. Oh boy. All right. Now, Seren.
Yes.
You've been walking with this individual who calls himself the Queen. She's just, oh my. She's, now granted, with those big fangs in her mouth and the massive maw, you were expecting like a fiery temper and everything, because you could have sworn when you first laid eyes on her face, you saw a look of intense rage. But no, just a big old happy smile. And she's just telling you about how, her beautiful red roses have really come into bloom, until she stops and there's a white rose.
The entire time they've been walking, she's been glancing at her behind her sunglasses. I forgot to mention that bit.
So, please, sorry, you were doing what with the sunglasses?
She's been wearing sunglasses the whole time for reasons, but she's been she saw the rage at first, and so she's been trying to if I look fast enough, maybe I can see it again, because I'm suspicious as fuck.
So you see that flash of rage for a split second as she looks at this white rose, and you see she wants to reach out for it, but then her body is violently forced to stand straight, and she's just, yes, my beautiful red roses, there's nothing amiss. And you can tell she's clearly ignoring the white rose. Yeah,
Seren's gonna I don't want her to lose her shit because I don't know what's going on, so she's just gonna quickly pluck the white rose and burn it.
Oh, Queen is happy. She's telling you all about how they like to play croquet, and how you simply must join them for a game. And you're getting to the massive feast table, and you see more of these aristocrat ghouls. Your head, you blink for a second, and you think you see rectangular shapes, but that doesn't make sense because that's where bodies, what? And you go. As you're approaching, you clearly see those are bodies. And the Queen takes a seat at the table, and she is motioning for you to sit right next to her, Seren.
She is super panicking, but also she doesn't know where she's going to go otherwise, so she's just going to sit down and try not to look at the table.
So you notice the ghoul. So you're not looking at the table, but you clearly notice the Queen's not eating. Something very off. And she's just sitting looking. She's telling you more about how she'll take you to the castle. And then she starts to tell you about how her sister, and then one of the ghouls looks up and goes, Majesty, I do believe you're mistaken. You don't have a sister. She freezes, and then you start to see her face just start to turn blood red, and then goes back to normal. Oh, silly me. I am mistaken. Do you press it?
She'll I would like to know more about your sister.
And one of the ghouls is just insisting. Look, I don't understand, but I'm telling you, the Queen does not have a sister. And Queen's just sitting there for a second. I'll ask one last time, Seren. Do you press it one last time?
Yeah, in fact, when he insists, she's gonna use centripetal force to launch a croquet ball at his head.
Wow. It's really uncanny that this goes perfect, because the Queen if you would have been looking at her, you would have been noticing that her skin was starting to have cracks form in it. And there was this strange green glow coming from the cracks. And finally, her entire body just goes beet red as she screams, "Off with his head!" as a massive explosion goes from the queen. And you knock out the aristocrat with the mallet. Look where the queen was. Isn't he still there?
Oh, yeah, I said yes, I would.
Okay, so as you look, when the smoke is clearing up, you don't see the massive towering frame. You do see like a big bulbous head. Like this head is just, ugh. And then like a very tiny little body, but her face is done with that typical French monarchy, white powder, just excessive red cheeks. And she like fans the smoke away. And she's holding a little scepter with a red heart on it. And she looks at you, Seren, and she does a curtsy.
She's gonna clumsily do one back.
My goodness. And she turns, and once again, her head just turns a massive, like, beet red, and she just belts out another scream of, "Off with their head!" And literally all those ghoul aristocrats sitting there, their heads pop off.
Oh, joy.
But there's no gore. It's just more of those same strange explosions. And then what passes out on the ground is you see individuals with bodies that are playing cards.
Yes, the return of the drugs, clearly.
He gives you a little tap on the head with the heart scepter. You're not under the influence. This is real. Thanks, Seren.
Yeah, I think that with the onset, like, actual pure panic, she's gonna pass out.
And that's when she's just, she points a finger in the direction of where you're passing out, and a very beautiful, big, giant rose bursts forth, and it has like a female anthropomorphic face on it. And she goes, "Oh, dear!" And she catches you in a couple of her petals. And Seren, that's where we'll leave off for your portion of this session. All right, Maximilian.
Yep.
Coming to as I said, as your mom is turning face, just it's not a horror face. It's just like a fuzz. You still can't get a good look at her face.
I can help you put a face to that body. Join me, Maximilian, and every good memory will be here, and every memory of misery we will burn.
Honestly, I have a confession to make.
Bright looks at you.
My obsession to remember my mom's face led me on a different path. With my experiments, I've learned that it is possible that you can use that it might be possible to transport other memories onto other people. I think maybe you can help me improve on this type of research, or even shape it to your design if you wish.
Are you sure about that, kiddo?
Oh yeah.
Do you look at who said that?
Yes, I do.
See a porcelain cat.
Are you sure I'm not drunk? Like, this feels like a fever dream right now.
Maximilian, ignore that little trinket. Just focus back on our deal.
Hold on there, buddy. Hold on, buckaroo. You had your time. It's my turn. Are you sure about that, kiddo?
Okay, who are you? What are you?
I don't know. I just am. And my name? I can't tell you. All I know is I've waited a very long time for a certain person, for a certain time, for that 1 in a million chance, and now I know it's you, kiddo. What it's for, I don't know. But I will say this, nothing good is waiting for you with that son of a bitch.
Come on now. There's no need for names. I'm promising Maximilian a better life. He's had so many hardships. It's time for him to have a better chance. Come on, Maximilian. Tell me more of this idea of your memory swapping.
Oh, hold on now. No one calls anyone a son of a bitch and to their face and not mean it. I want to hear what this cat has to say now.
You said the right answer there. Everything goes black, but not in an intimidating way. And then you feel a tug on your sleeve. And when you look down, you see standing at about a good 4'5", looks to be about like the shape of a child, but with no hair. And there's no eyes, nose, or ears. There's just a mouth. All that said is, I miss my brother. I'm so lonely.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I don't think I can help you.
And all you hear is, you already are. As you start to go back, you're back facing in front of the porcelain cat. Your breath is like pure ice fog, ice mist. And it's going towards a certain direction. Because your breath is normal whenever you face another direction. And it's clearly behind the porcelain cat. And it looks and he goes, so what do you want to know? What do you want to ask?
Okay. Who is that obviously demonic looking thing that I was willing to sell my soul to?
Oh, that is one thing I do remember. That's the Scarlet King. He can call himself Scarlet Bright or whatever, but we all know that the minute he took over Bright's body, there was only Scarlet King left. That's just some asshole primordial from the beginning of time who got too big for his britches.
Fuck you. And that's why you're a useless fucking porcelain.
And that's when you notice he just like lets out like a spray of spit as punching into his gut, sending him literally just flying off into the distance through the roof of this mall. You see this little thing. It has like the arms of a orangutan. Well, the arms and legs of an orangutan, but the body, the torso area is kind of like a hippo. And then the neck reminds you kind of like a giraffe meets a snake. And then the head just looks what you would describe like a Chinese dragon. And it fades away. All I'm going to say is there's only so much bullshit I'm going to sit there and take. I'm not just a porcelain cat. I may not remember what I am, but I do know porcelain cats aren't supposed to talk. And I get the feeling that I've been waiting for you so I can finally learn what the hell am I. Will you help me?
I think I can.
Do you pick up the porcelain cat?
Well, first, I bend down to see if it's going to let me pet it.
As you touch it, it does it lets you pet it. And as you touch it, it feels strangely cool. Yet, is that a pulse? Interesting. And then as you get both hands on it, on the back of the cat, a crack forms and a faint green light comes. Well, all I know, like I said, all I know is I was supposed to just come with you. I believe the next step is up to you, kiddo.
All right. So, yeah, I pick up the cat.
And as you do, you see that ice mist form as you talk in the direction you are facing the cat. But when you look in other directions, you don't have the ice mist. Do you follow in that direction?
Well, seeing as this is basically an empty mall, everything's basically closed, and this draft could be good. It's a draft, so it's potentially a opening to get us out of the mall. So yes, I do.
So as you're following in that direction, you notice the mall starts to shift, change, the walls, the doors. Looks like he woke up, and looks like Scarlet didn't get to have his way. You were on the floor of memories, and this is a particularly nasty floor because someone can take advantage of your memories to take advantage of you, and you almost bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. But it's not your fault. Like I said, this is a very dangerous room, and Scarlet is a particularly nasty sociopath. Yes, primordial things can be sociopaths.
Oh, shit. Now I'm curious.
About what, kiddo?
About what memories he holds. He himself, if he possesses different beings and different people, does he just become them and take everything?
You know what? I'm sure we'll find out. Let's do this. And as you head in the direction of that icy mist. Crawling along the ceiling, never noticed, like an anthropomorphic crocodile Komodo dragon with its head is rotted like a skull. It drops down from the ceiling. It opens the communicator.
Hey, Zero. Yeah, I'm trailing him now. He didn't notice me. Yeah, should I take him out? Hang back. Ew. Zero, I hate you. Ew. Okay, I'm gonna go after the other ones then, if you're gonna do that. All right, sis. Talk to you later.
And the strange creature, its body takes on like a chameleon camouflage, perfectly blending just into the surroundings, even though it's not standing on the walls, and it's gone. And now we'll finish up with our last individual running from a literal house of puppet doll horrors, screaming tea time. We come back to Robert.
He's trying to run.
As you're running, but it doesn't make, nothing in this house makes any sense anymore. It reminds you now of that painting, the House of, God, I'm trying to remember what that painting is called. Was that the House of Usher? No, not the House of Usher, but no, it's that painting with the stairs and just all directions. Because 1 minute you're going down that long staircase, but you could have sworn you're going down. Now you're going diagonal? MC Escher, thank you very much. It's the MC Escher painting. Nothing makes sense until finally you don't come to the main entrance area. You come to what looks like a simple, nice little kitchen. There's nothing in here. And thankfully, the living furniture and dolls lost track of you.
At this point, he takes a moment to catch his breath and has a seat on the floor up against the wall.
And you're sitting there getting your breath. Just like, okay, the Tulpa said you're in for some excitement, but this is really not what you signed up for. I mean, come on now. You're just trying to get your mind right. And then finally, just like you hear a little pitter and patter, and there's the hat. It comes into the kitchen, and there you are. I really had given up, but then you finally woke me up from my nap, and I dared to dream that tea time again.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Let me make sure I have the right name real quick.
Well, my name was Dormouse, but I guess you can just call me Dor. It appears I'm probably the only one who still has his memories. I miss my little legs.
You miss your little legs?
I wasn't always a hat.
Oh.
Yes, for quite a while, I was the cursed hat that when people put me on, I would take over their body like some kind of parasite. In other universes, I would take the shape of a mask, but in this universe, I'm a hat. So yeah, but in reality, I'm the shape I originally took. You humans would call a mouse.
You mentioned something about reality?
Yes. So I don't know if they really explained it, but this place exists, but at the same time, it doesn't. It gives us the ability to access multiple planes because, the multiverse, there's always a different universe. And it literally, whenever someone comes to a crossroad and they make a decision, bam, that makes a parallel universe of what happened when that person made that decision. Like what happened when in another universe, my kind didn't exist. The only thing I can really say is that the minute you individuals, cause I can feel the presence of two others, but the minute you individuals came, my memories came finally back fully. And I could control myself, as best as I could as a hat.
Did this happen after you got on that doctor's head?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Dormouse he's really thinking. He's just, this isn't fair. I remember everything about myself very clearly, but the doctor, it's blocking most of my memory. The only thing I really remember is just he always mentioned tea.
Oh, and this might sound like a stupid question, but are you perchance friends with a tulpa?
Wait, cracks start to form on the hat.
Oh, I shouldn't have asked that.
No, so the cracks on the hat.
That's me reacting character.
So the cracks in the hat, green lights start to form through the cracks, and he's just, no, he's not a tulpa. That's my chair. The hat starts to float in the air. More cracks forming, swirling, 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 and it explodes. Now, the real
nice flow
hat.
Reflexes.
Oh, actually, if you do that, you'll catch in your hand a little mouse wearing a cute little red vest from your memory. He looks very sleepy, very lazy. And then falling down on your head is the original hat. Boop. I'm really sleepy. And in your hand, all of a sudden now, is a teapot, is a tea kettle. And he slowly lowers down into it. And it still feels like it's filled with hot tea, yet Dormouse is fine. It's just insane. It doesn't make sense. And then you hear the doctor screaming, then you see a giant hand like coming gripped around the corner of the door, and then you see the doctor's head peep around the corner, and it's so much larger now. And he just says, surgery time.
Yep, I need to run. Again.
Yeah. Paint it for us. How does this look?
So Robert stands up. He sees the doctor coming through the door. He starts to run in the opposite direction. Unfortunately, said mobility issues are making that a little bit difficult at the moment.
You know what? This is why I always reward good RP. And since you still left your handicap, I will let you have this. Because just because that hindrance happened doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. Because as you trip, the hat falls off your head and bloop, lands on the doctor's head. And then as he lets out like a mad howl, from the palm of his hand grows a tea plate, and then a teacup grows from that. And then his arm stretches and holds out in front of you. Do you pour from the tea kettle?
A brief moment of hesitation, and then yes.
You pour. It's the perfect tea, the perfect temperature. It actually looks pretty good. He pulls back to him, takes a deep whiff, and with a quick sling of his hand, the cup is emptied. Trillions of cracks form in this giant body as literally just starts to spin in a tornado, just never disrupting you or Dormouse or anything. And the hat staying perfectly on his head. And then with a violent explosion that affects the entirety of the house. It still has the MC Escher effect, the same insanity, but now there's a burst of color. It's not as dreary. There's more cushy furniture. There's the table for tea. There's tea cakes. There's tea accessories everywhere. And then lowering down about a good 5'2", laying in literally midair with his chin resting against his fist. He, floating down at you, pulls his hat off his head and goes, "Haddo's the name, and being mad is the game."
I figured that second part out a while ago.
Yeah. And I think that is the perfect place to leave off for this first session of Into the Looking Glass. Our first 3 travelers are doing a fantastic job, and I'm very curious to see how this is going to go in future sessions. Because our first 3 travelers each has a companion now. Seren has a baby Bandersnatch. Robert has Dormouse and the Hatter. And Dr. Maximilian has the porcelain cat and its companion.
So, dear listeners, if we've gotten your attention now with this, we will be trying to aim for weekly releases with this. And so please remember to give us a rating on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps us with the algorithm, guys. Thank you. And you all know, until the next one, goodbye.